What's up, everybody? This is your girl Brandy, back at it again with another hot one. Um, Welcome to episode 3 of Millennial Generational Curse Breakers, or MGCB. If you don't want your tongue twisted, MGCB is alright with me, okay? So, we're gonna get into it. Just, hey, how y'all doing? We almost into May, and I know for the educators in the building, you can't wait to get to the end of May. School is gonna be out in Georgia, and my educators in other places like New York, I'm sorry, you got a little bit longer to go. But whew, this has been a year, and I think it's been a little bit more challenging because of what I'm doing with you all, like just talking about deep stuff. So every time I have a good conversation, I'm like, oh, I gotta tell them about this. And I had so many, but today we're gonna start talking about your children and how the struggle is real, but the struggle don't have to be the struggle. Let me say it again. The struggle is real, but the struggle don't have to be the struggle. And what do you mean by that, Brandy? What do you come in with all these catchphrases? What are you talking about? I'm gonna tell you this. If you get to know any person between 40 to 50, and you ask them about growing up, they're going to tell you about the struggle. They're going to tell you about what they had to go through in order to get where they are. And those stories are a little bit motivating, a little bit traumatizing, a little bit questionable, because you start to think, well, does it have to be that way? Do we all have to struggle? Now, in the Bible, Jesus already said that there will be trials and tribulations. So, even though it's hard to accept, you're going to go through some stuff. Some stuff that's out of your control. But as people, I think that we glorify the struggle in the places where the struggle don't have to be. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. That's my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because I know many people who they'll tell you, I was out my mama's house by 16. Doing what? 16? You are an infant. How can you maneuver through a world at 16? If it's not even like unforeseen circumstances, like nobody has passed away, like it was just simply gone, get out. And it's just like, parents, I know a lot of parents in the room. If you can help it, the thing that you don't want is for your child to have to grow up struggling the whole time, or at least start with struggle. I can't start off with something, with a little something. My husband and I use this term so much. Don't know if we coined it. I might need to patent it. But he always talks about starting at 0. Yeah, that's the way that the number line is. 0, 2, whatever number you're trying to go. But I feel like us as black and brown people, we glorify starting at 0. And then I know other parts, other races, they don't start at 0 always. honestly, they might get a whole 50%, and it's up to you to keep it or lose it. So let's go deeper into it. What you talking about? So, for example, in our community, the way that we grow up could have already been notches against us, right? We know that there's poverty. We know, there's things out there that are working against you for sure. But the mentality that we have is, well, my mama struggled to feed us, to put food on the table. She worked 4 or 5 jobs. That's super commendable, and is resilient, and it's like hats off to mom. But it's also like, how can I make it so it's a little bit better for me and mine? I just don't want to grow up and just know that the struggle coming and be like, well, I gotta struggle too. What if you didn't have to? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to accept the struggle as people? Now, there might be somebody who go and get upset when I come with the next topic. But let's think about slavery, you all. I should get my Dr. Umar on and start calling out and being real extra, but that's his thing, that's not mine. So let's think about it. We had to struggle. We had no choice. We didn't have knowledge. We didn't have avenues. We didn't have nothing during slavery. Right? We had nothing. But in this day and age, is it hard? Yes. Is it completely 100% like preventable? You could just be a millionaire when you grow up? No. But do you have knowledge to do things differently to fortify the future of your children and of your family? You have the knowledge. It's out there, but you have to seek it. And I think when we don't seek it and we just go with the status quo, well, my mama and them had to do this, they were on government assistance, so I'm gonna get on government assistance. I've heard that before, and it has literally made me cringe, because government assistance is not a what you call it? Government assistance is not inheritance. Don't steal my stuff. I'm putting that on a shirt. Government assistance is not inheritance. You have to want more. You have to want to be different. You have to want something to change. If you accept it, that's what we're talking about. That's a generational curse. It's just passing and passing. And now we got, all of the Smiths, they on government assistance. All of the Jacksons, they are, like, we don't have to do that. And I really want so much more I want more for everybody. But especially people who look like me. I'm sorry. When Wale said, sorry, I'm rooting for everybody that's black, there's nothing else to say. Because we already know that we're a disenfranchised community. We already know the things that stacked up against us. So we as a people have to band together at this point. Because Tom, Dick, and Harry, they're not coming to help us. We have to help ourselves and help each other. And it doesn't look like, gatekeeping. Oh, I know this information and I'm going to keep it for my family and y'all do what y'all do over there. No, share. But the thing is, when you share, be ready for them not always to be receptive, right? So, like, if I'm programmed to think that I deserve to struggle, I might not always understand when somebody's trying to give me freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh! I might not always understand when somebody's trying to give me some freedom. Like, we can talk about it. And I really, for one of my episodes, I'm going to get somebody on here to talk about the things that, you may have heard on a different podcast. You may have followed, the Earn Your Leisure guys. You might have followed, a Wall Street Trapper, and all of these people who are sharing and teaching you how to, take advantage of the stock market and invest in IRAs and Roths and, really just leverage a way so that you and your family can live not stuck or tethered to a job, or you don't have to worry about your child having to struggle like you did. That should be the goal. That should be the goal for every single person, whether you have kids or not. You grew up, I've heard people say, I grew up this way, we were super poor. So what you gonna do about it? And it's multiple steps, and it's not easy by far. We don't usually get paid as much as we think we should and deserve, because in this economy, y'all see what's going on out here? Food high, gas high, air high, your clothes, electricity. I'm ready to turn these lights off now. For real. And I was just telling my best friend, I said, you know what happened when the economy messed up? Everybody started going nuts. Because it's like, it's so much pressure and it's so much stress. And it's like, I don't know what to do when I'm doing all I can. I'm working every day. I'm trying to put a little bit aside in the savings. Trying to put a little bit aside and this and Robinhood and invest here. And still be able to, have a little fun. But it takes serious discipline to be like, no, like, I'm not buying this, I'm not doing that, and I'm putting this towards me and my child's future. It's the hardest thing to do if you haven't been given the tools to do so. So, the thing is, when we talk about starting at zero, how many of us went to college? We'll raise a hand. Put your hand down. How many of us had a college fund for us to go to college? How many of us worked full-time jobs while we were in college? How many of us were taught about student loans and interest rates before going to college? Right. So if you raised your hand for the ones that I did, you're sitting here begging Joe Byron like Keith Sweat to forgive them loans. Because I'm begging too. I would tell you the best advice that I ever got was from my high school guidance counselor. And he said, if you're not sure what you want to do or your family's financial situation, and this was a white man, Mr. O'Grady at Da Vinci High School, I tell you, to this day, he is the reason why I only have a certain amount of student loans. Because he said, go to community college first and then transfer. Cut it in half. Don't just go to a four-year college and play around, pretty much. Go to a community college, get your feet wet, see if you really like college, find out what you want to do, and then transfer once you get your associates. So I did community college, and every person around me was at a 4-year university, on the dorms, with the meal plan. And I, at that age, I was like, this is whack. I'm not stumping the yard. I'm not in the dorms. I'm not getting none of this experience. To this day, I know that if I went to a 4-year university, I'm not going to say I would be a different person, but some things would be different. I would probably be a part of a sorority. I would probably have all different types of outlooks. Or never know. I might be the same. But I know that wasn't taught to me in my house. My parents, one of my parents is an entrepreneur, and one of my parents never finished college. He kind of went and then like never went back and said blue collar is the life for me, so not doing that. And college isn't in for everybody, but we have to get better at educating each other and educating the young people before having them jump into something that's going to literally catapult them into the rest of their lives. Especially if they ain't ready to go to college. You can't go up there at the People's University playing around and end up with $300,000 in student loans. And not even a degree that's worth it. Because I feel like the dreams that they sold us about these degrees, getting a degree, and you gonna absolutely have a job as soon as you get done. I have my degree, and I'm looking like, who this for? Truly and honestly, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. Definitely, probably would have tried to do different things if I knew differently. And the only thing that I can do is educate my younger siblings and cousins and the youth who I meet on different paths to do it, smarter ways to do it, because again, not everybody gonna start with something, and when you start at zero, you have to be creative. Now, is everybody able to start their kids off with something? Honey, $1,000 at least. Now, is that gonna scratch a tuition? No, but it might buy me some books. It might buy me my first junk car. You know what I'm saying? It might start me off with, my allowance while I'm in college, so that I don't have to, go and be working all these jobs and, the hustle and bustle. And it might sound a little bit entitled. Like, I think if you know me, you know where I come from. I don't come from a judgmental place when I say things, but I want to be clear. This is not bash my parents, bash your parents, bash the generations. This is not that. This is us having a clear and purposeful conversation about things of the past, present, and future. How they associate with generational curses in all communities, but most of the things that have happened or things that I have experienced, I'm an African American woman in her 30s. So it's going to be from a point of view such as that. So if this is an upsetting conversation, I am sorry. I do not mean it to be upsetting. But I do know starting at zero is hard, especially if you haven't been given the tools to make it into more. If you haven't been given the tools to make it into more and you start off at zero, it's like you already got to play catch up to your peers who may have had some stocks, some bonds in their name, a UTMA account, something already squirreled away for them to open when they turn 20, when they turn 18. And these are things that I feel like a little bit a day from when your child is born, every check, putting $10, $20 until they go to college, that's going to add up. And that's going to be something. And that's going to tell that child, I bet it all on you. I put my best foot forward. Not only did I clothe you, feed you, and do all the things I'm supposed to do as a parent, but I also took this extra and I invested it in you. So this is yours. Go forth and do what you want to do for your life with it, but just know this is something that I want you to start with. That's giving them the motivation to be like, my mama and daddy put this away from me. I ain't about to be out here playing these games. I'm going to this. I'm about to start this job. I'm about to start this trade school. I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's hard when you have conversations like these with people who are older, because the struggle, we know the struggle is real, but the struggle is in some ways so comfortable. It's like, how dare you ask me to be doing all that? And I'm like, oh, what? Because have you touched the enough money to put in an account? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many big old birthday parties do we have for our kids? And you know we like to party. Honey, we knows how to throw a party. We knows how to get Spider-Man up there doing the Millie Rock. We know how to get Bluey up there dropping it and popping it. We know how to get cakes, ice cream, show up at the school for a party, then throw another party on the weekend. Like, we are the party people. And the amount of money that we spend on parties. Let's just not... Hold on. Sidebar. Do y'all really be, in 2024, do y'all really be, throwing, like, huge parties still? Because in the 90s, I'm going to go to the 90s because I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 93. In the 90s, the parties were to die for. I can count every party that I've had that I can remember, and I know it was bang. I had Barney and Baby Bop at my first birthday party. Straight up life size, walking around. I had Barney and Baby Bop. I had 2 sheet cakes. 2 sheet cakes. One full of Barney's body, one full of Baby Bop's body. Full backyard of kids, adults, piñatas. I mean, goodie bags, matching outfits. I mean, to say the least. I'm not trying to sound conceited or nothing, but my birthday parties were something that you look for every year. Came September, what her party is for this year. Because as I got older, they just got bigger. When you get older, you want more stuff that's more expensive. We know that. You go from wanting to play in a box as a baby to then wanting a PS4. It just goes to the top. My parties were huge. Now, could some of that money been put in other places and used for other things? Absolutely. Can you change it? No, but it's a fact. It could have been put for other things, because after all them kids done came and ate and drank, they parents, and they leave you with a 20 spot. Oh, you want to talk about mad? I threw a $1,000 party for my baby, and y'all came and put $20 in a card, took to-go plates, cause y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm not lying. People come make a plate, eat all this, and leave 20 spot, or not even leave nothing at all. I ain't seen that happen. Many, many, many times. Many times. So, like I said, that money could be put towards something else. You can still have your parties, but let's be a little bit more conscientious about what we doing with the money. It's your money, so you do what you want to do, sis or bruh. But think about it. I can throw you a small little party in backyard, or take a couple shortcuts and DIY, some stuff for me, and put some of that away. Or, hey, you don't gotta pay for no gifts. Everybody send some money to her account. It's simple as that. If you gonna buy her something, send the money to her account. She don't need no. Most kids don't even need the toys that they have, cause they just add up. I mean, you talking to somebody who is a toddler mom right now, the amount of small, minuscule things that now just irk my nerves, and it's just like they keep coming. Like, they keep coming. And it's like, that stuff gonna be broke in a corner, can't find half the pieces. Y'all, you could have just, we could have just bypassed that whole thing. But, yeah, it's a trick bag, because you want to have it both. You want to have your ways both ways. But you got to figure out what's important. Because getting kicked out or put out at 16 and talking about go and live, that's crazy. 18, go out, you got your own. At 18, to have your own apartment, car, a job, in college, no assistance from your parents, and people have done it, I know it. And I'm just like, wow. And hopefully that experience tells them, if I have a child, we ain't doing that again. Now, is your child supposed to have the most brightest sunshine, struggle-free, like everything handed to them? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm talking about. That's counterproductive, because we know through experiences you learn, through making mistakes you learn. So let's figure out what experiences I need to have in order to grow, and what experiences can I just bypass and I'll be all right. Because you might be passing something to me that tells me it's not good unless I struggle. I don't feel like I've achieved it unless I really had to, go without and just eat one McChicken a day because I was so broke that I couldn't afford to feed myself because I'm out here by myself. I really want more for the next generations coming up, because it's honestly just gonna get harder. Everything getting more expensive. Things are getting harder to get into. The world is changing from what they're accepting as a successful line of work or a degree that's actually beneficial and can help in a monetary way. Like, we are seeing the change and the shift happen. In this day and age, you can't start at zero. Because guess where you will be? Right over there, 285, 85, under the awning. Imagine having conversations with some of those people who have literally just have nothing, the homeless population, and realizing, like, if they could have started with something or just had enough support, they might have not even had went the route that they went. Like, to be honest, because not every homeless person is a drug addict. Not every homeless person is just rebellious and they just don't want to act right. Some stories is real hard to hear. Like, everybody that cared for you died, and it left you in such a state where your mental health was at such a risk, and there was just nothing to catch you. There was no safety net. There was nothing. You might have had a house, but the daggone house's property taxes had not been paid since 1965. Y'all got to stop that. That made me mad. I'm sorry. If you gonna buy a house and your whole family gonna live in it, and you gonna write it in your will as a gift, as a leg up, as a push forward, don't you dare not pay the taxes on it so that your children can inherit debt. What? And y'all know, y'all looking at me. I can tell the faces. I can feel it. Y'all know somebody who did that. You know somebody who did it. I know. You done heard it before. We don't have to do this to each other. How is that helpful? And then somebody come try to take the house and all that. No. Not mine. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So miss me with it. Now this is a part where I feel like I don't even want to say it, but it's on my heart to say it. We are some real fashionable people. We jiggy, okay? And that is so old. I don't understand. I go back and forth between decades with my speech. So sorry. But if you are going to dress your honey, I don't even know, because babies be wearing Jordans before they can walk. So your child from 0 to whatever, if they gonna wear expensive shoes, and everybody into the name brands now, I'm not knocking nobody. If you got it to spend for real, you go ahead, sister, brother, you go ahead, you better work, okay? But if you can't afford it, that's where I'm gonna clap for you. But I'm also gonna look at you like that was probably not a smart decision, because Fendi and Gucci and them, they not hurting. They not asking us to pay their rent for real. They rent private. They don't even have rent. Okay, they own stuff that is begging them to stay. Okay, so if you buy into these companies and you become a walking advertisement for these companies, you better have something put to the side, because the only thing you gonna have when you walk out is your bare butt. Out of this life, you gonna come into the world as if you left. As you left. As you leave, you gonna come in how you came, naked. We cannot bury you in Gucci, Louis, Prada. Michael Jordan is doing well with or without you, because it's so many people buying into so many labels and brands, but the paperwork is not right. The accounts is not right. And the way I work in a school, let me tell y'all something. The way y'all children be dogging them shoes, the way y'all children be dogging your hard-earned money. First of all, if your child is between the ages or school ages of pre-K to maybe even second-ish, third grade, they don't really always know how to tie their shoes. So your shoelaces is so mangled and wet with pee and whatever the heck is on the floor. And they tearing them shoes up, honey. And let you had just spent your last, or your close to last, or you finance them to have this nice outfit, and they sucking on it. I think I'm getting traumatized. The way that they treat your valuables, them babies would be in the next shoe carnival sale. And the thing is you don't even have to be in a Sketcher. Like back in the day when I was young, if you didn't have on Jordans or something, everybody just automatically thought that you was a bum. You gonna have on Walmart shoes, or you gonna have on Skechers. First of all, Skechers are very comfortable. That's first of all. But I'm older. Kids don't think that they're cool. But you can get name brand shoes wholesale, like not wholesale, but at the outlet, cheaper price, sale, BOGO, buy one get one free, a coupon. You know, when the Jordans drop and everybody's standing outside, do people stand outside anymore? Am I still in the 2000s? Y'all let me know. Do people stand outside for the Jordans anymore? When I was wearing Jordans, when I was literally younger, it was a stand outside type of situation. It was Saturday, you woke up early in the morning, and you was standing outside in the line to get them J's. Now, these days, I don't know if you have to do all of that, but the commitment that people did to get them new J's, and then something happened, and I need to borrow $20. I can't get to work. I need a ride. How are you that fresh standing on the bus stop? How are you that fresh not paying your bills? Somebody told me recently that they were getting evicted. And though that is really disheartening, like I've never been evicted and I wouldn't know how that feels to actually have to literally pack up all your stuff and leave before they throw it out. I don't know in New York how it is. I grew up in New York. I ain't never seen nobody put all your stuff out on the street. But let me tell you something. Here in Georgia, that sheriff's office go. You got 15 minutes. You better grab everything you can. They have your stuff lined up out on the street. It is embarrassing. And I see you grabbing your Gucci purse and your red bottoms and your Hermes and all of them names. So why wasn't you paying the rent? I'm truly confused. No. And I feel bad because that means that you saw so much value in those things. You didn't see the value in stable living. And maybe you were never taught. Maybe you were like me. Your money skills had to come as you grew up. You didn't get no crash course into how to set up a bank account and how to manage a checkbook, or balance a checkbook, or save. You might have got your skills thrown at you as you grew up. But when they throw them at you, you gotta catch it and keep it so that you're able to function as a fully knowledgeable adult. Like, it's just hard to kind of see it happening. It really makes me sad because if that person who got evicted and was grabbing name brands got kids, what you think the kids think about? What you think the kids value? It ain't paying bills. So I want more for everybody, but we can't have these kids starting at zero like we did. If you had a trust fund, go kiss your parents. Kiss them. If they had a way for you to at least start college without what I'm going to do, how to sign up for fast food, kiss them. If you can't, when you say a prayer tonight, thank them. Because they were thinking past what was in front of them. They were thinking past the day-to-day. They were thinking years, the long game. And that's the game that we have to play. We have to play the long game. And it's hard because the mental fortitude that it takes to play the short game and the long game at the same time is a lot. And that's why as General Child's Chicken, wow. As generational curse breakers, that's why you get so bogged down in your mind sometimes, or you be just tired because your mind is thinking about today, tomorrow, next week, next month, 10 years from now. Like, it just automatically is 10 years from now, and you like, okay, so if I do this and I do this, the payoff, and it's a balance on how to not keep yourself from going nuts. But it's necessary. It's truly necessary. Because I don't see, if we don't put the work in now, there will be no fruit. If you don't plant the seeds now, there will be no fruit. You'll have nothing to harvest. If I just say tomorrow, maybe I'll do this tomorrow, my child gonna be 16 talking about filling out ACTs and SATs, and I'm like, dang, I can't raise $50,000 in 2 years by the time you graduate high school. GoFundMe's don't even work that good, depending on who you are. Now let's talk about GoFundMe's just real quick. I do see a change. I see a lot of us trying to change the way in which that untimely time happens when our family members pass away. You know, I do see a lot of people changing it, and I do love seeing that they're trying to figure out ways to cut corners. You know, you might not need a huge funeral if you don't have no life insurance or no funds put up, because GoFundMe was supposed to be for like soup fundraisers for kids, you know, send somebody to college, somebody's house burnt down, you know, stuff like that. The way that GoFundMe's blew up and became, let's help me bury this person, we got to do better. And we have been, but there's still a few out there. If you out here in the streets shaking it up, drinking it up, smoking it up, robbing it up, and all of that, what you think gonna happen? And how dare you not have nothing? Now it's to the point where I was talking to somebody the other day, and she said, you know, my brother is he living a life. She basically told me he living a life, and I called my mama. She said, I called my mama, and I told her I'm taking a policy out on him because he ain't about to leave me with no bills. That right there is forward thinking. She took, as the big sister said, I'm not going to wait for you to call me and be trying to figure out how to put you in the ground. I'm going to take a policy out on you now because you're not living right. You're not living right. You know, you're not even respecting the fact that the people who you doing all this with or against gonna have to pay for your untimely demise. I high-fived her so hard because I said, that's probably what we have to start doing. You got that family member who you've been trying to help get healthy, eat right, stop smoking, whatever. It's up to you if you want to wait and see what happens. You know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not wishing bad upon nobody. I pray for years and years to come of health and protection over everybody. But I ain't about to be left holding a bag now. Or an empty bag at that. And then got the nerve to be wanting when doves cry at the funeral. And the airbrush shirts. That's for another conversation. That's for another conversation. Because I have been to some funerals that are very interesting, to say the least. The last funeral I went to was April April. It was April. Rest in peace to my Aunt Mamie. This is a shout out to a woman who raised her children, and she did everything that she could so that they wouldn't have to struggle. Was their lives hard? Yeah, but she made sure that when she was gone, that they would be okay without her. And she was one hell of a woman. So, rest in peace to Aunt Mamie. I love you. But that's all I got, y'all. Until next time, keep breaking those curses. Keep standing on business that it's not going to be you, yours, your family, your mama, your daddy, your relationship, your marriage, any of that. And we'll talk next time. But